Hello, my name is Ryan. Welcome back to another MechMoney video. Now in this video, we're going to be talking about 5 facts about the RRSP that you may not have heard before. The RRSP is the Registered Retirement Savings Plan. It has been put in place by the Canadian government a very long time ago. Now the whole point of this RRSP is in order for Canadians to be incentivized in order to put money into a savings plan. And of course, that savings plan is for retirement, as the name would imply. So let's get started. Fact number 1. Did you know that you can actually hold a mortgage within your RRSP? Now, there are 2 different types of mortgages that you can hold. One is known as an arm's length mortgage, and the second one is known as a non-arm's length mortgage. We're going to be talking about the non-arm's length mortgage a little bit more here. The 3 facts that I want to talk about it is, number 1, you will have to go out there and find a financial institution that is willing to work with you in order to set up this sort of plan. Now, of course, they are going to be charging a fee in order to go through all of that with you. The second thing that I wanted to say is that you will have to charge yourself an interest rate. Now, the interest rate will definitely have to be competitive within the mortgage market. So if you go out there and for the terms and everything that you want, you can only find something of maybe the cheapest mortgage rate is around 4.5% or so. And if you do only find that 4.5%, that is the ballpark number that you're going to have to charge yourself in order to make this all, work with the rules that are set up. The third thing that I wanted to point out is that you will have to have insurance on a non-arm's length mortgage, just in case there's some sort of concern or a default or something, would happen to happen. They want to make sure that that is all covered. Now you may wonder, it begs the question, why would a Canadian want to go and hold their own mortgage within, this sort of RRSP plan? Well, there are a couple reasons that we'll talk about why. First of all, imagine all that interest. Even after all the fees and everything is paid, you will have that continuous payment that is coming on the RRSP mortgage. You'll have that continuous payment instead of paying all that interest to the financial institutions that exist out there. You could pay it directly back to yourself. That is by far a great reason to do it. And the second thing is you don't necessarily have to have, you buying that house. It could be a family member buying that house. Or better yet, maybe you already have a house and you want to do something more to your house. You want to add like another level on the top. You can take out a mortgage and just renovate your house. That is and does qualify under the mortgage for RSPs. Fact number 2. Did you know what the minimum age requirement is in order to make a contribution to your RRSP? Well, actually, it's kind of like a trick question that I asked right there. There is actually no minimum age requirement. Imagine if you were a 6-month-old baby and you starred in this amazing commercial on TV. They paid you for that commercial. So if they paid you for that commercial, you decide, oh, wow, I want to go and put this money away. Imagine that, the 6-month-old, deciding to save that money. That would be amazing. So they go and save money into an RRSP. Now that RRSP, they're able to do that because the only 2 requirements that you need to have is an income and you need to file a tax return. As long as that 6-month-old has an income, which, when we implied there that they did, they can file it, the tax return. And because of those 2 things, they can now make a contribution towards their RRSP. So there is no minimum age requirement. Fact number 3, we want to talk about the contribution room within the actual RRSP itself. So if we're looking at this year, 2019, and I want to make a contribution this year, I actually have to look at my previous tax year in order to understand how much I'm capable of putting in there. So if I look at what I made last year, the formula is I take 18% of what I made in that taxable year, and that is my contribution room for this year, being 2019. Now, if I have any unused room, I'm of course able to use that unused room as well. So then I have the 18% plus any unused room. That's the total amount. So let's say that total amount is $50,000 and I just made a contribution this year, the past year for $5,000. I'm now maxed out at $50,000. Did you know you can actually put $2,000 more into your RRSP? Well, it's completely legal to actually over-contribute to your RRSP. There are a couple little things to know about that. One of them is that the contribution of $2,000 is not like a year over year over year thing. You cannot continuously, put $2,000 every year over into your RSP. That would not be legal. What you can do, and what it is $2,000 based on a lifespan. So the life of your RSP, you can only have $2,000 over contributed. Now that $2,000, you can sit there in the RSP, you can invest it and do what you need to do to get that invested, and that will be great. One thing that you also can't do is you can't claim that as a tax deduct in your next taxable year. You're unable to do that. So you can't, deduct that value amount. You can have it sitting there. You can't make the deduction, but you can invest it and you can do everything that you need to do with it. Fact number 4. This might be a fact within itself that you may not have known before. You can actually hold as many RRSP plans as you wish to hold. You can have many different accounts. You can have an account with this financial institution, that financial institution, this financial institution. The biggest thing is that if you want to go and say you have it with this financial institution, but you like the plan that you can get with this one much better. So what you can actually do is transfer all your funds from this account over to this new financial institution without any fees or anything involved. Now there's 2 ways to go about this. You can either find the form on the Canadian government website in order to fill that out to get that funds to be transferred, or that new financial institution, they can help do that for you by transferring the funds. They probably won't even charge you money in order to do that. Certainly that's what I had happen to myself. I was not charged $1 in order to make that transfer. The financial institution worked with me. I ended up giving them some information. They ended up taking the funds from the other financial institution and all the funds went in there and I didn't have to pay $1 for that. Now I got the benefits and all the best stuff with that new financial institution. That's why it's always important to, check and see what's available in order to see if you can actually benefit from something that someone else has. Fact number 5. Did you know that you do not have to make an RRSP deduction even if you've put that money in the previous tax season? Now that really means if in 2019 I put money into my RRSP, I don't have to make a deduction in my 2020 year. Now there's a couple different reasons, actually many more than a couple different reasons as to why you'd want to do that. For example, if I only made like $15,000, $20,000 this year and I ended up putting away a crazy amount like $5,000 to $10,000 in my RRSP, I probably am in the lowest tax bracket, in which case if I think that I'm going to be in a higher tax bracket next year, I don't actually want to throw that money into the account. What I would do and prefer is to actually place that money into the, my RRSP in that given year. I wouldn't change that. And then on the next year, I would not deduct that. I would only deduct it among the year that I'm going to have it or be in a higher tax bracket. That's the year I would choose. Another good example is a student. If a student only makes like $12,000 in a given year for the amount that they've worked, and they ended up paying $10,000 for their tuition, and a certain percentage of that is tax deductible, they may not choose to actually claim that money in that next taxed year. And that's because of their income during that year. What they'll probably do, and what is smart to do, is wait until you actually have a full-time job when you're making a bigger money, you're in a different tax bracket, use that tax bracket to get those deductions. That is the best way to handle that situation. Now there you have it. Those are 5 facts that you may not have heard before about the RRSP. If you like these videos and you want to see more of them, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in that next video. Thank you for watching.